Namaste. Hi, it's Jacci, and we're going to do a little bit of yoga together. So if you can grab what you need for your yoga practice, if you have a mat, you can lie that out on the floor. If you have a blanket, you might use that to pad your knees or maybe your neck. You might have a yoga block. If you have these things, grab them. Otherwise, just find a spot where you can lie out on the floor, like you'd have enough room to stretch your arms all the way up over your head when you lie down. And then turn off your phones, close the door, take a little time for yourself. So we're going to begin today lying down on our back. We'll be together for about 30 or 40 minutes. So take a little time. So we're going to lie down on our back to begin. And when you come to lie down on your back, take just a moment to make sure that you have a little room behind you to stretch your arms up over your head, and you can do that for a moment. Just lengthen. You can kind of stretch like you're just waking up and spread your fingers and notice your shoulders. And then if you let your arms come down by your sides, we're going to give the shoulders another little massage. So wrap your hands around your shoulders and give yourself a hug and begin to rock a little bit side to side here. And since you're literally giving yourself a hug, you can pat yourself on the back and say, I am so happy to be here with you. And then switch the way you're crossing your arms. So notice which arm you have closer to your face and then switch. Rock again, pat yourself on the back and say some other kind, nice things to yourself like you would say to a friend, if we could give each other a hug. And then release your arms, even up your shoulders, and then pull your knees into your chest. You could lift them one at a time. Unrock here. Massage your hip, your low back, the area around your hips, and see how it feels to sway side to side or to make circles with your knees. Might go both ways with your circles. Just see what feels nice for your back. It may be also nice to move your feet. So ankles, toes, or you could shake your feet, you could shake your hands, just shake off the day. And then lower your feet to the floor. Let your legs rest for a moment. Let your hands rest on your belly. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, just close your eyes for a few breaths and allow yourself a moment to settle, to land, to arrive for your practice. So just letting go of the day, all the things you've done before you settled here onto your mat, all the plans you have for later, just set that all aside. Begin to take some deeper breath and lengthen your inhales, breathing a little deeper. And lengthen your exhales, breathing a little slower. And as much as you can, breathe in and out through your nose. So through your practice today, try to let your breath be as smooth and even and as slow as you can. So we're going to begin. If you bring your hands down by your sides, just on your next in-breath, let your right arm lift up over your head all the way back to the floor behind you, wherever you can reach. And on your exhale, lower that arm down by your side. Turn your head to the left. So turn your head to the opposite side. Now, same arm, lift your right arm up again. Let your head roll to the center. And on your exhale, lower your arm, turn your head to the left. Again, breathing and moving slowly. And then inhale, roll your head to the center, lift your left arm over your head. Notice your left side. And as you exhale, lower your arm, turn your head to the right this time. And left arm again. So inhale, roll your head to the center, lift your left arm over your head. And exhale, lower your arm, turn your head to the right. And then roll your head to the center, lift both arms over your head. Big inhale. And exhale, both arms down by your sides, pull your belly in. And then please pick your feet up off of the floor and draw your knees to your chest. And we're going to, on the inhale, lift the right leg toward the ceiling. So push your heel up, like you're going to stand on the ceiling. You can spread your toes, and then exhale, bend that knee. You can pull the belly in a little bit on your exhale. Same leg again, just lift the right leg up toward the ceiling. See what you notice on the back of that right leg. And then bend your knee, exhale. Now lift your left leg toward the ceiling, push the heel up. Exhale, bend your knee. So again, slow movement, slow breath. So inhale, lift your left leg. Slow exhale, bend your knee. Try not to rush. Now both legs. So inhale, push both heels up like you're standing on the ceiling. And you want your heels over your hips, not closer to your face. Exhale, bend your knee. So if you're a little more flexible and it's easy for you to bring your legs forward, just keep them back so the heels are over your hips. Inhale. And then exhale, bend both knees. And now, bringing your attention to your right side, lift your right arm and your right leg together. Right arm, right leg. And then let the exhale bring everything down, just noticing that right side. And do one more. Inhale, right leg, right arm. And then exhale, bend your knee, lower your arm. Now shift your attention to your left side and inhale, lift your left arm and your left leg. And on the exhale, bend your knee, lower your arm. Again, pushing that heel right up above your hip. One more time, arm lifts, leg lifts. Exhale, bend your knee, lower your arm. Now we're going to do both legs, both arms, as smoothly as you can, everything up, both legs, both arms. Try to pause for just a second at the top of that inhale. And then exhale everything down. And you're welcome to breathe a little faster or a little slower than me. So breathe at your own pace. Inhale everything up. And exhale everything down. We're going to repeat that one more time. Big breath, as if the in-breath lifts you up. Pause at the top. And exhale everything down. And then please let your legs your feet come down to the floor, and then stretch both legs out onto the floor so you're lying flat. And we're going to flex the feet. So you want your heel pushing away and your toes spread wide, like you're standing on the floor. And you may feel your leg muscles, your quadriceps engage a little bit from that flexing of your feet. And then please inhale your arms up over your head to the floor behind you as you push through the heels. As you exhale, lower both arms down and draw your right knee into your chest. Give that right knee a hug. See what you feel in the right hip. And then inhale, stretch the leg out, your arms up over your head. Exhale, bring your left knee into your chest. Give it a hug. See what you notice on that side. Stretch out on your inhale. Now go back to the right leg as you exhale. Pull your right knee in, pull your belly in, and holding here on your inhale, open your right knee out to the right side. And on your exhale, draw your right knee up and over across your body to the left. And you might keep your hip on the floor, or you might roll all the way over to your left hip. And then inhale back onto your back, level the hips, and then straighten your right leg toward the ceiling. Flex both feet. And on this exhale, bend the knee, give it a hug, and you might lift your chest up towards your knee. And then stretch back out. Inhale, lower your leg, lift your arms over your head. Now we'll repeat that to the left side. So exhale, left knee in, give it a little hug. Inhale, open the left knee out to the left side. Exhale the left knee across your body. Pull your belly in. You're welcome to go a little or let that left hip roll up. And then inhale back to the center. When the hips are level on the floor, lift the left leg toward the ceiling and flex both feet. And then exhale, bend the knee, give it a hug. Lift your chest here if you like. Inhale, stretch back out. And then on the exhale, we're going to bring both knees into the chest. So depending on how this feels for your back, you may do it one leg at a time so it doesn't strain your back. And then rock a little bit. So we're going to keep the knees up and hugging together and stretch the two arms out to the sides at the height of your shoulders. So this time we're going to have the palms down. And notice if your hands are kind of up above your shoulders, have them slightly below the shoulders, so we're not scrunching up the shoulders. Inhale here and lengthen your arms. You could even grip your little finger pads into the floor. And on the exhale, let both knees, keep them together if you can, rock over to the right a little bit and knees towards your elbows. So draw the knees toward your chest. And then inhale back to the center. See how this feels for your back. And then exhale both knees to the left a little bit, keeping the knees together as much as you can, and inhale back to the center. So this time as you exhale to the right, see how it feels to turn your head the opposite way. And then knees together as you inhale to the center, and then exhale knees left and head right. And then inhale center. So it's fine if this movement is very small for you. And on the exhale, you can go to the right again. If it's easy for you, you can go all the way over, maybe try to touch your knees towards your elbow, and then inhale up with your knees touching nice and smooth. And then exhale over to the other side, any amount, maybe touching your knees to your elbow. And slow inhale to come back up. You can turn your head the opposite way if you like. Each side one more time. Exhale to the side. Knees together as you inhale back up. No rushing. Exhale to the other side. Inhale center and then pause. Lower your feet to the floor. So notice the two sides, even up your hips and shoulders. And then we're going to do a little symmetrical movement. After the twisting, it's always good to follow it with a little bit of symmetry. So we're going to do the bridge pose. So we want the feet flat on the floor and pretty much heels in line with your hips and the palms down by your sides. And as you inhale, push through your heels, lift your hips up. You want to keep your neck even, not turning the head side to side, so look up. And as you exhale down, hug your belly in. We're going to just do it maybe 2 or 3 more times, depending on how fast you're breathing. So inhale, slowly lift up. You want to lift the chest as well as the hips. And then exhale down, hugging the belly in. Go slow. Couple more. Inhale. And again, it's fine if you're breathing a little faster or a little slower than me, but you want to cultivate the slowest breath that's comfortable for you. I'm going to do one more. Maybe you do one, maybe you do 2. And exhale down. So once you've come down the next time, stay. And then draw your knees into your chest again. Rock a little bit. Might even like circling your ankles again. And then we're going to come over, we're going to roll over to our side and come onto hands and knees. So if you could please roll over to one side, use your hands to push you up. So we're going to come to the tabletop position. So we're going to come to all fours. I'm always in favor of padding the knees in this position. So if you have a blanket, a towel, something to help cushion the knees, please feel free to grab that. Come on to all fours, tabletop position. The hips are going to be over the knees and the hands under the shoulders. On your next inhale, lift your chest and your eyes. On your exhale, pull your belly in. Begin to round the back. Let your elbows fold down to the floor. Your hips fold back like child's pose. Sink back any amount. And then inhale, glide back up to tabletop. Lift your chest and eyes. Exhale, belly in, rounding back. Inhale, up to tabletop. Now pause here, tuck your toes under, and we're going to push up to downward facing dog. So for this pose, we're lift the knees up, lift the hips up, push through the hands, try to lengthen your legs. You can hold here with a little softness in the knees. You can alternately bend and straighten the legs, sometimes called walking the dog. Or maybe you let both heels reach down toward the floor. So you want your hands a comfortable width, maybe slightly wider than your shoulders. Your feet hip width apart. So they're not touching here. And then we're going to go up and down between the tabletop position and our dog pose a few times. So slow inhale, lower your knees down. Let them touch as softly as you can. Lift your chest and eyes. Pull the belly in first and exhale. Push back up as slowly as you can. And again, inhale down to your knees, lifting your chest and your eyes. Pull the belly in, pushing up slowly. And again, inhale to your knees. And this time exhale back to child's pose. So we're just going to fold the hips back. Maybe you're on your elbows here. Maybe your head is lowering down toward the floor. You could stack up the hands and rest your head on your hands, or stack up the fists. Or this is a good place to use the yoga block. You could put the yoga block under your forehead and just rock a little bit. Take some deep breaths. Even though you're folded up, try to breathe deeply. And then push up to your hands and stand up on the knees. Here's some padding, maybe helpful for this. You're welcome to have your toes tucked under here. And then we're going to lift the arms up to the sky, next movement. Still coordinating with our breath. Please inhale both arms up over your head. Lift your chest and eyes. How does that feel? As you lower the arms, pull your belly in, lower your eyes. And again, lift. And lower. One more time. Just opening up the front of the body. And lower. So we're going to do a little movement in a low lunge. So for this movement, we're going to step the left foot forward. Left foot forward. And when you put that foot forward, you could put your hands down and walk the foot forward. You could use the yoga block for your hands here so the floor is not quite so far away. We want that knee. So when we come forward, shifting the hips forward into the lunge, we want this knee to be right over the heel. So if it's kind of sticking out over your heel like that, walk your foot out further forward. And just resting your hands on your knee, shift the hips forward. Again, you want that knee over your heel, lift your chest. And as you exhale back, pull your belly in. And then we're going to add a movement with the right arm. So we're going to be opening up the right side a little bit. So please shift forward with your hips, lift your right arm up. Maybe you notice how it feels to lift your eyes here. And then exhale, lower your arm. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale, shift the hips forward, lift your arm. Make sure that back knee is comfortable. Exhale back. You're welcome to pad that knee a little bit. And again, inhale, right arm up. Exhale. We're going to go up 1 more time and hold for 1 breath. So inhale, lift your arm up. On the exhale, hold. Pull your belly in. Draw your hips back 1 inch, 1 millimeter. And on your inhale, lift your chest more. And then please exhale, lower that arm down. We're going to take now that same arm, the right arm we've been moving, and place it on the floor right next to your front foot. Here's another place where the block could be helpful, is you put that under your hand so the floor's not quite so far away. Make sure the front knee stays right over your heel so it doesn't roll out to the side. And then just open up the left side. Open your arm up toward the sky. See how that feels? Maybe that's good. If you want to lift the back knee off the floor, you could tuck the toes of the back knee and lift that knee off the floor and just hold this little twisted lunge for a few breaths. And then please lower your hand down, put your back knee down if you lifted it. Walk that front foot back so you're standing on your knees again. Okay, and we're going to lift the arms over our head like we did. This is called lightning pose. We're going to do lightning pose a few breaths. I'm going to give you a variation this time. So if you brought your arms forward before, try the movement by bringing your arms out to the side and up. Lifting chest and eyes. And then exhale down. You might notice how that feels for your shoulders. So if you have a preference, you can do out to the side again. Exhale down. Or you could do the first option we did, bringing the arms forward and up. I'm going to do out to the side 1 more time. And down. Pausing, noticing the shoulders. And then we're going to do the lunge with the right foot forward.
So again, figure out how you can get your foot forward. Maybe you can just walk it forward from here. Maybe you put your hand down and use the block to help you. So we're going to take a sort of a test bend in that front knee. When you shift your hips forward, you want the knee over your heel. You can walk it forward more if you like. Make sure your back knee is comfortable. As you pull back out of the lunge on the exhale, pull in your belly. And do one more little test bend. Shift forward, lift your chest. And then exhale back. And then we'll do the movement with the left arm. So the back leg arm is going to move. As you inhale, shift hips forward, lift your chest, lift your left arm, go up. Maybe your eyes too, but notice how that affects your balance. And then exhale, lower your arm and your eyes and pull in your belly. A couple more like that. So inhale. Exhale. As smoothly as you can. Once more, left arm lifts. What do you notice down the left side? Exhale, pull the belly in as you go back, and then we'll hold one breath this time. So inhale, left arm up. Hold on the exhale, pull your hips back a millimeter. Pull your belly in. Hold on the inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, lower that arm down. And then we'll explore that little twist in the lunge. So take that left hand, the one you were moving, either place it on the floor next to your front foot, or again, you could use the block under your hand. Make sure your front knee stays right over the heel. We don't want it to roll out to the side. It does have a tendency to do that. And then the front leg hand, your right hand, we're going to open it up toward the sky. So see how that feels in your shoulders and your back. And if you like, you can lift the back knee off the floor. Let's see how it feels. And breathe. On the exhale, come on down and come to tabletop from here. So we're going to just walk the foot back and come on to all fours. Let your hands come down, grounding down through the fingertips. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhale up to tabletop. Now this time, when you fold back to child's pose, let your hands move forward a little bit, getting a stretch down your sides. And on the inhale, we're going to shift both hips forward, a little bit like our lunge, but now the hips are symmetrical. We can open up. Let your elbows bend a little. Lift your eyes if you like. And then exhale back to child's pose. And we'll come forward a couple more times. This is called it's a variation of the upward facing dog pose. So if you have cats and dogs, you probably see them do this little stretch. And back, and we're going to do it one more time. And just see what you feel. We want a pleasant stretch. We're not pushing into the hips. We're not pushing into a place that the back hurts. Just a nice stretch here. And then exhale back, either to child's pose. So you could come back to child's pose, again, supporting the head on your block or maybe on your hands. If you are a big fan of downward dog and you'd like to push up to downward dog pose and hold that pose, you're welcome to hold that pose a little bit. Whichever you're choosing, try to let the breath be a little bit smoother. And if you did come to downward dog, on your next inhale, put your knees down. And we're going to push back up and come to lie on the back again. Coming back to your back. So if you do have the cushion under your knees, you can just slide that off to the side, or maybe you use it under your neck. Coming back onto the back. So take a moment to notice how your body feels now after those lunges and those upward lifting movements, opening up the front of the body a little bit. We're going to go back to the little twisting movement we did side to side, but we're going to hold the pose. So if you have a pillow, a blanket, a cushion, a yoga block, put it over by your right side. Draw the knees up close to your chest. And again, we're going to have the knees touching and
Again, as close to your chest as you're comfortable. And then we're going to bring them over to the right, and then you might rest them on something, your pillow, your block, your blanket. So you can see what height helps to support your legs so that when you stretch that opposite arm, your left arm out to the side, your left shoulder is still on the floor. And a little better for your hips and low back to have the knees drawn up closer to your chest. And then any amount that you can inch the two knees closer together. So you may notice that your top knee is not quite lined up with your lower knee. It's not critical that they're even, but we're just trying to inch them more in that direction. So you're trying to stack them up. You could use that right hand to just gently hold on to the legs to keep them in a good position. And then with that left arm stretched out, notice the left side, left shoulder. Maybe down the back or the rib cage of the left side. Maybe you're feeling it over in your butt, in your hips here. And let's see if you can take a few breaths that are just a little bit longer, especially the exhale here. And you might think about hugging in your belly on the exhale. There's already a little squeeze on the belly just by being in the twist. So. Take a couple more breaths. Noticing the left side. So please inhale the top knee up first, and as you begin to roll onto your back, you can lift the second leg too. And then put your feet down on the floor. Take a moment to even up the two sides and notice how that feels. And we're going to do one more sort of opening movement for the left side before we twist over to the other side. So please stretch both legs out on the floor so they're flat. You can flex the feet like you're standing up. And on an inhale, lift both arms up over your head. We're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand and gently begin to kind of tug that arm so you're stretching the left side. And then inch your head and shoulders over to the right a little bit as we continue to open up the left side. And then see how it feels to also inch your feet over to the right. So we're continuing to open the left side. So everything's kind of scooting right a little bit. It's a pretty small movement. We want to keep the left hip on the floor, the left shoulder on the floor. And just imagine for a few breaths that you could breathe only into your left lung. Opening up the left side. So complete your next exhale. When you get to the inhale, you can release your arms down and move your head and shoulders back over to the middle, scoot your feet back over to the middle, and then bend both knees. So you can pull the feet up flat one at a time. And then we're going to do the twisting movement for the right side. So the knees will be going to the left, so grab that support, blanket, block, pillow, whatever you got, sofa cushion. Draw your knees up close to your chest. Have the knees together as much as you can, and as you twist over to the side, you're drawing the knees closer to the chest. So when we twist left, then we're opening up the right side, and a lot of us are tighter on the right side. Not everybody, but you can see what you feel. So especially the right shoulder. So as you let your right arm stretch out to the side, try to keep that shoulder on the floor. And find a stretch that's comfortable. You're not hurting anything, not pulling too much. And then any amount that you can inch your knees just ever so slightly closer together and closer to your chest. And then just scanning that left side, left shoulder, the back, the hips, the glutes. Just find the spot where you're comfortable to hold. You may have your head turned slightly. You may have your neck even. You can notice what's helpful. So little tiny incremental adjustments so that you can be comfortable and still get a good stretch here. Remembering to hug in the abdomen on the exhale. So there's already that little bit of squeezing on the belly from the twist. So after you complete your next exhale, inhale the knees back up to the center, one at a time. Lower the feet to the floor, one at a time. Even up your shoulders and your hips, and then we'll do the little side stretch on the right side. So stretch out your legs, keep the feet flexed. On an inhale, both arms up over your head, and we're going to grab the right wrist, this time at the left hand, and begin to give it a little tug. So inch the shoulders and the hands, the shoulders and the head, of course the hands are going to go too, to the left. And then move the feet to the left. All of this to open up the right side. So you could keep flexing that right foot. Push through that heel. Pretend like you're breathing only into the right lung. Slow, smooth breath. And then when you complete your next exhale, let it out completely. And when you get to the inhale, then you can release your hands and start to scoot over to the center again. Head, shoulders, feet. Even up your hips, even up your back. And then bend your knees one at a time. Draw the knees to your chest one at a time. And a little symmetry after that twist. So we're going to, after those side bends, we're going to put the hands on the kneecaps and point your fingers down toward your toes. And on your exhale, it's a very simple movement. We're going to bend the elbows so the knees draw toward the chest. And this should feel like a pleasant stretch down your back. And then inhale, let the arms straighten so the knees rock away. Relax your toes and your ankles. And then exhale, bend your elbows. So there's a little pressure on the belly from the knees drawing into the chest. Inhale, the knees just rock away as the arms straighten. Let's do that a couple more times. Exhale. Just to think about the breath, to stretch out your back in a symmetrical way. Inhale. One more exhale. And then as you inhale, this time you can lower your feet back down to the floor one at a time. Let your legs rest now, so you might have the feet a little bit apart and the knees touching, and you can rest your hands on your belly. If it's comfortable for you to close the eyes, let your eyes close and just check things out. How's your neck? How are your shoulders and your hips? And if you want to adjust things, scoot things around to get more comfortable, just do a little adjustment. Beginning to settle, beginning to come into the relaxation part of your practice. So we want to let the body be comfortable as we rest. So you could have your knees bent like you have them now and just stay that way. If you like stretching your legs out on the floor, you can let them stretch out on the floor and lie flat. Either way is fine. You could even rest your legs up on the sofa or in a chair. That can be really nice if you have back pain. So when you're resting, we want to be comfortable. So if lying flat isn't comfortable, please keep your knees bent. Take the next 2 breaths. We're going to let out a sigh on the exhale. So please inhale. And then through your mouth, a sigh. Sort of a releasing breath. One more inhale. One more sigh. And now just letting your body rest, nothing to do except be comfortable. If you're comfortable keeping your eyes closed, you just let the eyes be closed. Free breath, no effort to breathe. Shifting to stillness. And as you come into this still, relaxing pose, I'm going to close with a little closing message, a closing prayer. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. And may we all live with ease. So I encourage you to continue to stay in this resting position for the next 5 minutes, even 10 minutes, or a minimum of 12 breaths. If it's hard for you to lie still, try to stay for 12 breaths. I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.